Hey there! Today we're going to talk a little bit about what to do after you finish the weld, right? Now what does that mean? So let's say you've already done the welding with whatever process you're using, whether you're using the nitrogen welder or whether you're using our torch welding or Fusible-link torch welding method. Whatever the process is, there's a very simple way of shaping your welds after you've done with it. With our nitrogen welder step, we're going to have both hands for this step, right, with one thing in each hand. What we have here is we have the airless part of the welder. This part right here is just a heated iron, and it's got a melting spade at the end of it, right? So it's a pretty big, pretty fat head to it. You can still do a lot with it. You have to get creative, but you can still do a lot with it, right? Now when you're doing the melting, you have to have the nitrogen blowing on it, right? So both ends, both parts of the welder have to be running, and you have to be blowing the nitrogen across it. Now there's many reasons that go behind that, right? When you're using this thing and this thing heats up, it's gonna just start smoking, very similar to what these guys do. Difference is these guys are twice, if not 3 times as hotter when you get it cherry red, whereas this, it's only gonna get to a certain temperature because that's all the heating elements allow it to get to, right? So at the end of the day, there's only one tiny little barrel heating element here that heats up this whole spade. So depending on whatever settings that the manufacturer has for it, that's as hot as you're going to get. Now for the technology that they're using with the nitrogen, you only want it to be a certain temperature. You don't want to go outside of your boundaries, right? When you're dealing with a specific tool that's got a lot of science behind it, you don't want to steer clear. You don't want to jump into uncharted territory. You want to stick to what they're telling you, right? They've done the science behind it. They know exactly what it takes to make this machine work. That being said, it's not the only way. There is definitely another way, which we found, honestly, by mistake. Everyone told me that it couldn't be done in the past, right? And I just said, yeah, I can. So, what to do if you're using our Fusible-link repair method with torches? What are you going to do? We don't have this, and the whole purpose of this process is to remove us from the wall, remove us from the compressed tank, remove us from the electric outlets, right? We want to be able to do this in the middle of a field if we need to, right? Customer calls us from their house in the middle of nowhere and they don't have electric out where they need us to fix a part for them. What are you going to do then? You're going to say, oh no, sorry, I can't do it. Or you're going to say, oh yeah, I got all the tools in my car. I'll be right back. So we come back, and what are you going to do when you need to shape your welds? Well, for starters, we use tools like these. Tough one. I can see these different tools that I have, right? These different melting spades that I have right here, each one has different ends to it. Each one serves a purpose, depending on the shape that I want to create. A lot of times plastic has some pretty intricate spaces that you got to recreate, especially like when you're working on a headlight or something. So at the end of the day, you're going to want variety. Well, how do these things work? Because there's no, it's not hot right now. I can touch it. I can put it on my tongue. It's not going to burn me. All right? That's where the torch comes into play. We utilize the torches for everything in our process, right? And so how does it work? Well, very simple. We just take the torch to the end of the spade. We keep that heat on it until that thing is nice and cherry red. So now what's going to happen from this point when I touch plastic? 2 things. One, it's going to smoke really bad. But what I've observed through this is the smoking is happening on the tool, not on the base material, right? It's only smoking with the contact of the plastic that stays on the tool. That's great because what's happening is the burn off is happening on the tool, not on our base material. So that means as we're dragging it, we're getting heat transfer from the tool into our material, which is causing it to melt, right? The burn off or the smoking is happening on the tool. It separates it. I can't explain it 100%, but the intensity of the heat separates the material and allows the burn off to stay just on the tool. It's crazy, but at the end of the day, it works. So if you look at your surface after you've smoothed it out with one of these tools, you won't see any of that burn off, any of that charred mess laying on your surface. It's all on the tool. Let's see if I can hear it. I've got one of the tools. See, you can even look at the tool, all the charred mess is on there. It stays to the metal for some reason. I'm sure there's probably a lot of science behind it, and anybody wants to put in the comments what that is, 10 points for you, okay? All right, and I'll give you another video personally. You can tell me anything you want. I'll make a video for you about it. I'll explain anything plastic for you. All right, so at the end of the day, these will give you the intensity, the shape, the weld that you need, and you can heat these over and over and over again. I've been using this specific one for probably about 7 years now. All right. Now, how does this thing keep from burning you? Well, that's some secret that I created myself. All right, made these myself. You can buy these from us, purchase them from us. We do sell them. They come in a starter kit, or if you really want some, we'll send them out to you personally. Right? We'll sell them separately. So let us know. Thanks for watching.